Hey guys, thanks for checking out my Leviathan Extreme guide. I'm going to try and cover all the tanking, DPS, and healing aspects of this battle so you can get this fight down on farm mode. As of recording this video, I've killed Leviathan a little over 40 times now. I've been keeping track of my progress through the achievement that you can get for the tank mount. So when you start off this battle, you're just going to want to pop a couple cooldowns and run in and blast as much DPS as you can. You have about 25 to 30 seconds to kind of blast Leviathan right there. So I was popping things like Berserk and Unchained for that part. And then you're going to get Leviathan doing a smash at one end of the boat. So right here you're going to have ads come up as tanks. A lot of tanks do it differently, but the way that we had it worked out is that as main tank I was grabbing every ad that spawned on my side anytime there were two ads that spawned. So usually if there's a single ad that spawns, the OT will grab that ad. Those ads will be handled a little differently. The double ads can pretty much get just blasted as quickly as possible. When you're on DPS, you're gonna always want to focus on ads or spooms when they spawn later in the battle. Anytime there's something else on the ship, you want to shift your focus to that and not Leviathan. Don't worry about putting up dots on Leviathan and then switching targets. You're always gonna want to switch to the new target, like right here when this ad spawns. So the OT is gonna grab that wave 2 Sahagin, and he's going to stun that ability right there. And a lot of times the off tank is just going to try to keep the enemy stun locked. He's just going to hit him with the shield bash, I guess. Because of this, it's pretty much required that your OT is a paladin. It's kind of another strike for warriors, unfortunately. So you pretty much are going to need a paladin OT to stun lock those enemies. So our DPS is so fast that we're skipping phases here. So these spooms are up. When these spooms are up, you want to blow these up immediately. But here's the thing: every time you kill a spoom, it's gonna blow up and cause AOE damage to the entire raid. So you have to be very careful when you time the explosion of these spooms. So as you can see, they're kind of focusing on the front ones, and they're gonna get these down first before they shift to the back ones. That way it kind of keeps the explosion spread. There's also going to be a tidal wave attack that hits everyone. That kind of comes during the time that a lot of these spoons are blowing up. So as DPS, you're just going to want to dot them all. There's that tidal wave move. DPS, you just want to kind of dot everything, and if you're a Dragoon, throw Disembowel up on everyone. That'll help your bards. If you have bards in your group, it'll increase the piercing damage. So as you can see here, Leviathan's got a pattern. The first dive he does is always from tank side. And then after his first dive, he always dives again from that same direction. So if he travels north, then the next time he pops, he's going to be north. The only time that it can throw you off is when he dives from the side. And sometimes he'll do the middle, and he'll either do the middle or he'll do one side of the ship where he'll do a side dive. So every time you get hit by one of his dives, you'll gain a stack. And I don't think anyone in the group has stacks right now. You'll also notice the healers have stacks. That comes every time they heal the OT. And it looks like the healers actually both have 1 and then 2 stacks respectively of the debuff that Leviathan gives you when he hits you flying over. So this part's tricky. You have to look for a splash. It requires a lot of tricky camera work. I saw the splash, so I knew which side of the ship to run to. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the ship for this part of the battle, because you will get knocked off and probably get raged at by about 7 people, especially if you're in a farm group. Don't join a farm group if you do not have this battle on farm. I cannot stress that enough. Please do not waste people's time. There's plenty of learning groups, and just because you've seen a video, I wouldn't join a farm group, honestly. If it's a group that says they're going for the kill, that's fine. But farm groups are different, so you're gonna have ads again at the back. So as tank, I'm grabbing this ad, and I'm gonna pull it down to the ship. We only have one melee DPS, so I'm not too worried about you know, people hit the ad being in range. I know that both bards and the black mage can both target it when I have it pulled to the back of the ship. So you really want to rotate your cooldowns to the best of your ability. You don't want to have double cooldowns up that kind of give you the same effect. You want to make sure you rotate that the best you can. So there's a middle dive right there, and then he's diving from that side. So as long as you're on about the other half of the ship, he takes up a little bit over half. So now he's going to do his crash on that end. If you have trouble spotting the crash, just also try and keep an eye on your teammates. If you see a lot of them, a lot of times you can judge where Leviathan's coming from. I also have heard that if you play this game with headphones on, listening to the speakers through your headphones, I heard that's really easy to hear where the splash is coming from, and you can actually, you know, hear if it's behind you or which side it's on. So here's the second set of spoons. So we just hit LB3, so he popped it off just at perfect timing. And so for this LB, I think that was LB2 as well. So that actually wasn't very perfect timing. You're going to want to try to target the spoons next to Leviathan, and you're going to want to try to hit Leviathan as well. I'm not sure if that LB hit Leviathan, but with LB3 on those spoons and Leviathan, you can put a pretty big dent in Leviathan's hit power. So when these wave spoons show up, the OT is going to run over and grab these, and he's going to hold these during these dive phase. So as you see there, it dove from the tank side first. Now it's going to dive. Now see, this time it's tricky. During the spoon phase, he's going to do one dive and then a slam. A lot of people get fooled by that. So you have to really look out for that. So the tank's going to hold those spoons down there. He popped hollowed ground and they blew up. As the main tank, you know, you can pop your, what is it called, home gang. You could pop home gang if you want. You don't really need to. A lot of times, like, foresight is enough, or even, you know, pop it, save your thrill of battle and hit that if you take some hit power loss. So he's off again. He's going to do one dive, and then we're going to have to hit the elemental converter. The elemental converter, you can see it was at, I believe, 39 out of 100. Now it says 0. Basically, if that converter doesn't say 27 out of 100 by the time you hit it, Leviathan will wipe your party. He'll do too much damage, and the converter won't protect you enough. So here he is again slamming. He's always going to do that slam. We keep getting ads at really weird times because the DPS is pushing really fast. If you get in this fight again with really high DPS, you can literally just skip dive phases, and you can pretty much just don't have to worry about dodging Leviathan and just keep blasting him. And you know, people can die and get res, and you can still win the battle. You do pretty much need most of your DPS to stay alive. If someone dies later on, all the other DPS really have to pick up. Leviathan does have an enrage timer. It's about 12 minutes, and when she'll just wipe the party if she's not dead by then. So there's a tank side dive, and those are tricky. Those are really hard to look out for. I was looking at the wrong direction, so of course I got drilled by that. And as you can see, I took a stack of that water debuff. Pretty much lowers my water resistance, basically. And the healers have that debuff too. It's from healing the OT. So apparently the way to lose that is just to not heal the OT. I'm not sure if the pet, I think that's why people put the pet by the OT, but as you can see here we have 2 white mages, but they're able to handle it just fine. So again, you just want to blast Leviathan as hard as you can. Another thing to remember is DPS when ads are up. If you keep attacking the tail, for instance, you will you might steal threat on the tail, and the tail's just gonna destroy you. So look at this, 3 pieces of loot. It's the first time. Just so happened the one video I record, we get 3 drops. Of course it's Monk Fist, Tank Shield, and White Mage Shield. And of course I have god-awful rolls on all 3 items. But guys, that's my guide. If there's anything you think I didn't cover, let me know. And thanks for checking it out.